Hack the Real Side podcast with Heather, Ashley, and myself, Keira, where we like to explore the personal journeys of people from the entertainment industry with a little bit of cheeky fun. And we're very, very honoured today that our guest is Jon Dannelley. So Jon is an Alabama-born, LA-based actor who's also done stunt work as well. Can't wait to hear all about that later. And he's probably best known for the award-winning film Union, which again, I'm hoping we're going to hear all about in a bit. So thank you very much for joining us today.
All right, how are y'all?
Good. And Jon is speaking to us, and it is 6 a.m. his time. So I'm very much in awe of that, because you would not be getting anything coherent out of me at 6 a.m. if anyone tried to speak to me at that time. So yeah. Well done you.
It is still dark outside, so yes, it is very early.
You're smashing it. You're smashing it. So the way that we do the podcast is I will start with just a few icebreaker questions. Then Ashley will go on to asking you where you came from, how you started, how you got into acting, anything like that. And Heather is going to turn herself completely southern when she speaks to you. I'm not even going to attempt the accent because I'll sound a twat. But she's going to do the end part where she's going to ask you more specific questions about work that you've done and things like that.
All right.
Any questions for us?
None. Let's go.
Are you ready? Okay. We're starting off nice and simple, going back to childhood, where it might not be childhood. Did you ever have an imaginary friend?
Oh, no, I don't think I did. I was raised in the South in the woods. So basically our parents just said, get outside, come back at dark. So, all right, that's what we did.
That's the best kind of childhood though, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, you have the dogs there and you really just create whatever you want to outside.
Yeah. Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have one older brother, and we're actually 12 months and 12 days apart.
Wow. So
he was born January 12th and I was born January 24th.
You just had your birthday.
Oh yeah, I did this past Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
33. Yay.
Did you do anything fun for your birthday?
I went to dinner. I kept it low because I can't really go out right now because being on set and we get tested all the time for COVID. And if I were to test positive, that would be very bad. So no, we went to dinner and had a couple of drinks and called it a night. It was a early night, but it was great. I'm going to celebrate after this film, so we'll be good.
When are you hoping to wrap filming? Today.
Today is actually supposed to be the last day. It'd be 2 weeks on set, so yeah. After today.
Oh, wow. So tonight, he's going to get cray-cray.
Tonight, I'm going to have a couple margaritas, I believe. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Please go live on Instagram when you're drunk.
I will. And I'll like, hey, y'all come on and have a drink with me tonight. So.
Deal. I mean, it'll be Monday morning for me. I'll probably be on the school run, but I'm like, fine, guys. Gin in a little travel mug. I'll be okay with that.
Right?
It'll be fine. So, would you rather travel back in time and meet your past ancestors, or travel into the future and meet your future descendants?
Ooh.
I know, I'm hard-hitting today.
Probably.
Sorry, 6 a.m. for you. I'm sorry.
I'd want to go back in time.
Would you?
I don't want to know about the future. Yeah, I don't want to know. It's going to happen no matter what. So I want to go back in time because actually, like, my family is from Ireland, like originally descended over from Ireland. So it would be really cool to go back there and see, what happened.
How far back in time would you go?
Oh God, I don't know.
Are we talking like 50 years or like 300 years?
I'd say I'd get a good 100. How about that?
Yeah.
Good 100 years.
I think I'd go forward in time. Maybe because I don't think there's particularly anyone interested in my family history. So I'd just be rocking up and I'd be like, meh, there's no Wi-Fi code.
But then I'm like, what if it just ended with like me? Like,
what if you go and they're just like,
there's no family there. You're like, well,
creeping back.
Oh, okay, that's really depressing thought.
That's why I'm like, there'll be like fireballs in the sky and like rivers of fire in the future. I'm like,
yeah.
I'll go in the past when it was cleaner air and woods and.
Yeah. See, that's the southern right there, the woods.
The woods.
Yeah.
The woods. I think I would be petrified of the woods, but that's okay.
You're petrified of the woods?
Yes. Well, because when you grow up in like, I'm from East Tennessee, so we have all the Appalachia like ghost stories and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
creepy, like freak you out. Like I won't go outside at night. Hell no. Snape stories and like look it up.
I don't think I've ever heard Snape. I've heard Snipes.
Oh, maybe it's Snipe. It's just been really
Snipes, someone takes you like snipe hunting and
Yes,
like
snipe.
and then snipe
I'll
hunting.
have to,
Snipes aren't really real.
I feel like they're having their own conversation that I have never heard of.
See, when I was saying, I was like, is it Snape or Snipe? And then I was like, I think it's Snape. But no, it's Snipe. Clearly, I did not do this to my own children because it's very
What
smart.
is Snape?
Snipe hunting is like the adults would take like the children or the younger group out to the woods and be like, all right, we're going to hunt snipes, and snipes aren't really like real. And then they just take off and run and leave you there with no light. You're stuck in the woods in the dark and you're like, holy fuck, I don't know what's going on.
And the mean ones would make noises and stuff.
Yeah, and just freak you out.
That stops at South Carolina border. So when South Carolina reaches Georgia, they're like, we're not going to do this.
I don't know.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Did they do it to you? Did you guys both have that done to you?
Yes. I did.
Oh my god, actually you've gone southern as well. What is it?
I've never ever heard of this. Like I've never heard of snipes. I mean, I will say when we drove over bridges, my grandparents used to tell us that there were like ghosts or people that lived forever that were underneath it and they would hang us up on our toes if we didn't listen to them. We had that. But I have never heard or had anyone take me to the woods and be like, peace out.
Yeah, they would tell you hold the bag open because we're going to chase it towards you. So make sure the bag's nice and wide so we can,
and you're literally standing there with the bag and then they never come back. You're like,
how are you guys not completely fucked up?
They are. That's what's wrong with the South. They are.
That's what's wrong with the South. I couldn't say that as a Brit.
I was like,
that's why here in LA, everyone's like, oh my God, it's so crazy. I'm like, y'all haven't seen any shit. Go to the South. Go on.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's really Appalachia.
I'm feeling much happier about my childhood now, so thanks for that.
If you ever come over to the US, I'll take you snipe hunting.
No, because you fuckers didn't in the woods. Now I know what's gonna happen. He's like, we're going snipe hunting, and I'm like, no, like fuck you all.
Hey, just bring a drink, you'll be fine.
Okay, then that's fine. Is there an adult version of snipe hunting where you literally just get pissed in the woods?
Oh.
We can call it Snape hunting.
Yeah.
I can
You
do
just
that.
call we're going drinking. and
Adult snake hunt.
adult.
Is there a way that we could like, that's a way of hiding for kids? It's like an adult hide and seek. Like mom's going to go hide in the woods, but really we're just drinking.
We're going to go hunt snipe. We'll be back tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
Now I'm warm into the idea now. I can get on board with this one. So when you're on set, what do you think you bring most to? What do you think you contribute most when you're on set? Something you're known for?
Being
Or is it
prepared.
something you try and bring every day?
Being prepared and being kind. And also on set, I love to like remember people's names, even people who work in sound, people who are, the PAs. Just getting to know someone and actually know their name means so much to them as much as it does me, because it puts it more on a personal level. It doesn't seem more like work. So treat everyone kindly, for sure, and be prepared.
Oh, that's a good motto for everybody, I think. And the Boy Scouts. Describe your breakfast in one word.
Shitty.
What was it?
Like my breakfast every morning on the way to the gym, I stop and get one of these complete cookies, and it just has like all the nutrition inside of it, and then I drink like an energy drink and then go knock it out. Like my breakfast is it's terrible.
I was not expecting that as an adjective, but I love it.
Now if I'm like back home or visiting somewhere and I just go to breakfast without going to the gym, I'm like, take me to Cracker Barrel and let me just pig out on everything I can.
What does Cracker Barrel do?
Oh, what do they do? Like to me or what?
Like what is Cracker Barrel? Like what kind of food is it?
Oh, it's breakfast food. You can get
Southern.
Is it like
Southern, like biscuits and
grits or
gravy.
biscuits or
Yeah.
Yeah, complete Southern.
Yeah.
When you come here, Keira, we'll take you to Cracker Barrel. the finest of the finds. Maybe we'll throw in Applebee's just for the hell of it. If there's
I think
still
she'll really want Waffle House too.
Yes.
I am up for that. I am so up for that. Anything to do with food, I'm fine with. So just a few quick ones. Are these names drag queens or racehorses?
Okay.
Okay.
I can do
Karen
this.
from finance. Karen from finance. Drag queen or racehorse?
Racehorse.
Very good. I do think that'd be a pretty good drag. No, it's a drag queen.
Ah!
I thought it was gonna be racehorse. Sorry. I can't even look at my notes now. I can't even read properly. No, it is a drag queen, but I thought it'd be quite a good racehorse name as
It
well.
would be a great racehorse.
Yeah. Penitentiary.
Racehorse.
Drag queen. I had to check
I
my
am
notes.
terrible. Oh my
Well,
god.
it's fine. So it's only a 3 for 3 one. So odor in the court.
I feel like I got to get at least one racehorse. Right.
Good. It was a racehorse. Well done.
All right. I'll take
There
it.
were some like really rude ones. I did run them past the girls, but apparently it was like British slang that you probably wouldn't have got. So I was like, oh, can't use that one.
You never know. I might have gotten it. You know that.
Well, we could do. So there's 2 questions that we like to ask everybody because we love the variety of answers. If you could remake any film using just the Muppets and one token human actor, what film would it be and what actor would you choose?
Top Gun.
Okay.
And one actor to
Yeah. Oh, but who would be Maverick? Would that be a Muppet or a human?
Muppet.
Which one?
Cookie Monster.
Oh, I love it. I can see him in the Ray-Bans right now.
Yes. And then the one human, we'll go with Tom Hardy.
Ooh, but what part?
Yeah, which part?
Goose.
The instructor that he ends up with having an affair with. I think that'd be a good one.
That'd be good. Oh yeah, one Miss Piggy and Tom Hardy having an affair. Oh yeah.
Yes, I like that one. Oh, yep. I can see this right now. And realistically, how long do you think you would survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Well, that all depends because there's a weed dispensary and a liquor store down the street. So as long as they stay supplied, I think I could last a pretty good while.
I'm pretty sure in a zombie apocalypse, they're not going to stay down there for very long. I think they're probably one of the first things people are going to hit.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, that
I
depends.
was like,
on
yeah, I'm going to hit it.
if I'm really drunk, I can be really good at survival or I could be really terrible at survival. So it's probably like a 50-50 chance.
I mean, I'm not a zombie apocalypse expert, although I kind of feel like one, the amount of times we talked about it, but I don't think being off your face drunk is conducive to long-term survival.
I think he's
Or
gonna
it could be. It
yeah,
could be.
like you're not gonna like stress about all the things.
Yes.
You're
You're not
just
going to worry about dying. You're just going to go for it. And
Yeah. Have you ever tried to chase a drunk person?
right?
Can I just say that when I did go to zombie school, they said for the zombie walk, they're like, we're looking for like drunk walks.
Okay, so you could fit in with the zombies by
Exactly.
being shit-faced.
Yeah, he just
Okay.
Exactly.
buries himself with the guts and just
Shit face and hide?
And
Never.
be an actor, be in the environment, and just
Oh, there you go. This is new survival tips, guys. I
right.
think we might break the internet with this one.
yeah, I went from wanting to not tell him where we're hiding to letting him in on our small group.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
We are putting together quite the A-team here, guys. And now I think we do have our, if nothing else, he can be zombie fodder and he won't care because he'll be
Drunk.
high as a kite. And yeah. Twatted.
I think we would last. I think we would last a pretty good time.
Interesting. Okay, it's a different tactic. I'm not going to lie, but I'm liking it. It'd be brilliant.
And if I get bit, I won't feel anything. So it's okay.
You won't even stress out at
That's
all.
true.
Like,
I wonder if
the blood spurted.
Yeah.
I wonder if when you turn, the blood alcohol level stays the same. So you turn into the zombie within like a few hours. Are you a pissed off your face zombie,
Yeah.
or is it like, who knows?
Depends on what
How's
you're
it work?
drinking, probably too. So like, are you
Yeah.
on whiskey or are you on beer or what's going on?
Are you
know?
an angry zombie or a happy zombie? Because
And I'm thinking a drunk zombie is not going to be that difficult to run away from.
No, probably not.
I think we've got ourselves another game plan here, guys. Sorted. Well, thank you so much for answering my ridiculous questions, and definitely.
Oh, they were amazing. I love them. They're awesome. Thank you.
I'll pass you on to Ashley.
Hi. So I know we touched on it a little bit, but I always like to ask where people are from and where they grew up.
I am from Mobile, Alabama, and I grew up in a little town called Satsuma. Well, I grew up in Saraland first, and then we moved to Satsuma, and that's where I grew up from middle school through high school.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you get into acting being in such a small town?
Honestly, I had no clue how to get into acting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just Googled like casting calls. And my first film actually, it had a casting call and it was looking for like a 1920s like war soldier look. And so I sent them an email saying, getting the casting info, and they're like, send me a headshot. I was like, what the fuck is a headshot? So I was like, I grabbed my phone, was like, so there you go. There's a headshot. And luckily the guy called me in and I went to the casting and I booked the role that day, having no acting experience at all.
So I'm going to back up just a little bit. So you went from playing in the woods, this game called Snapes. Snipes.
Sorry, and I realized why I said Snape because of Harry Potter. So I am going to redeem myself. That's why I was thinking Snape.
Okay. Well, it should be actually called Snapes because I feel like that's something his character would do. But okay, so you went from playing a game called Snipes and you Googled, so I'm assuming that you were the internet was alive when you were younger. Like, how old were you?
Dial up, the little
you're like plugging in, wait, get your
and if someone calls, it drops and you're like, well,
okay. So you just Googled. I mean, I guess I'm asking what inspired you. So one day you just woke up and was like, I'm gonna be an actor. Or did you?
Oh, I used to watch, TV and movies all the time and always wondered how to get into that. And, being in Alabama, there's hardly anything to teach you how to like become an actor. You have to figure that out yourself. And that's what I did. It's nobody in my family or in the arts or anything like that. My brother plays sports. My dad owned a boat propeller shop. It was like deep South country. So this is totally new territory, but I wanted to do it. And so I did it. And ever since that film, I did that first film, and the director and lead actor in it got me with his agent. And then that's how my career picked up from there.
Was that in Alabama or okay?
We shot that up north near Taney Hill and like Huntsville area, close to the Tennessee border.
Okay. And then what was that process? So you just one day was like, I'm going to do this.
Yep.
You Googled, you found a casting call.
Yep.
All within like a week period.
They said send a headshot. So I sent them a picture of my face. And, there's a headshot. And then my mom and dad actually drove me up to Birmingham for the audition. And I went there, did the audition, and before I got home, I had an email saying, you booked the role.
So tell us one of my questions is your support system. So obviously you talked about you being like the only one that's in the arts basically in your family. How was that? Where you just came in and was like, hey, I'm going to have an audition. Do you mind driving me? How was that support system for you?
Oh yeah. Like I dropped out of college, and pursued the arts. Like I went to college for 3.5 years, was about a half semester away from getting a bachelor's in business, and said, fuck it, I don't want it. And my parents' jaws dropped. They're like, what? I've started pursuing acting full time. Or not full time, because I still worked with my dad at his propeller shop as a welder. And when I could, I'd go on auditions and just try to book anything. I mean, I even did like a lot of stuff for free just to get experience. And then every now and then I get a commercial, like I did one for Alpha Insurance. Commercials pay really well, which helps pay the bills as well. But you just got to like really pursue it if you want it. And I had zero experience and I knew no one within the industry. But after that first film, I built like a little network of people that I could go to and say, hey, I have this audition. Could you help me prepare for it or something? And this was just starting out.
Yeah.
So you gotta really connect with people and don't be afraid to ask for help, mainly, especially starting out.
So I want to back up just a little bit. How was that first audition?
Oh, I was scared. Oh, I didn't know what to do. They sent the script, and like on the way there, I'm just looking at it like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to, because you think in your head, like, oh, I gotta be like this actor, or I gotta do it like this guy did it. Don't do that. Be yourself. And I literally walked in there, tried to be myself. I had the script in my hand because a lot of people want you off book.
Yeah.
I didn't know what off book meant. I was like, okay, I don't have a book in my hand. What are you talking about? So I went there and I did it, and I booked it. And I don't know how. I got really lucky. I'm a big believer in the universe creating things for you and manifestation and all that. And what's right for you is supposed to happen for you. So
I love that. The girls know I'm a big lover of the universe and stuff like that. But I think that that's what you say. You don't know how you booked it, but I think that as an actor, the hardest thing is this, just to be bring ourselves or our uniqueness to a role and just be that. And I think that everybody talks about, well, oh, they had beginner's luck or whatever. I think sometimes not having all that information about how you should prep and what you should feel and just coming in is one of the hardest things to do as an actor, is to kind of just push everything out and just be. So I think that it's not necessarily beginner's luck. I think it's just, I'm just going to go here and do this. I don't have to act. I'm just going to be. That's
present.
Yeah. And I think that is refreshing for casting directors. Okay. So you get this role, you make a little network of people, and then you quit college. Did you quit college right after this? And you're like, this is what I'm going to do? Or how was that?
Around that time, I quit. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't.
One time on set, and you're like, this is for me.
Yeah. In college, I went to college just to do what everyone else did, really. You know, it was like, you grow up, you're supposed to go to college, get a degree, get married, settle down, have kids, live life, grow old, die. You know, it's like, okay. And while I was in college, I hated it. You know, I was like, yeah, I'm here just to get a degree, just because my family wants me to have a degree. And that's not what I wanted. And even just sitting there in class, I wasn't focusing on like the studies or anything like that. I was just like, I don't want to be here. And then I found acting. I was like, this is what I want to fucking do for the rest of my life, you know? So yeah.
Okay, so you get an agent in Alabama through the set that you worked with. What was your process of, okay, I've been working in Alabama. How long did you work there before you were like, I'm going to actually go to LA?
For about 4 years. Because I got the agent and he got me, you know, some commercials, and I did a bunch of commercials until I did a TV show, Pan Am. He got me that. I flew to New York and was on one episode of Pan Am. And then that's when you go on like a big set like that, you're like, oh, you know, it just gets your heart pounding even more. Even though it was just a small little role as a Catholic priest and on like this plane to Rome. But I got to work with Christina Ricci and Margot Robbie, and it was like Margot Robbie before Wolf of Wall Street. So she was just starting out. It was really cool. I was just in there like, yeah, okay, what is it? Because me flying to New York, I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna be on this flight in this episode. So they're gonna take me up in a plane and we're gonna film in a plane. No, you're in this big tube in a warehouse, and that's your plane. So I learned everything on set. And so then I did that, and then I was on the TV show Breakout Kings. I did an episode of that, shot that in New Orleans. And then I got really lucky and got cast in a film with Nicolas Cage and Danny Glover. And after that film, I was like, I'm going to LA. Yeah, it's time. Because if I want to actually start doing big things, I need to go to LA.
And so, can you tell us about that process about moving out there? Because some people think you just move out there and then all of a sudden you just get all these, you have your choice of agents and then, or you become a waitress and then you're like, you know what I mean? So tell us about your experience of moving to LA.
Yeah, I moved to LA in 2013 for the first time. For the first time, me and my brother, we got in the truck, drove across, America, got here, broke as hell as usual. Had about $1,000 in my pocket, and so I got a job as a valet supervisor at the Intercontinental in Beverly Hills, and so I was working valet, supervising that, and then we would work like all the red carpet events that would come through there, all the press junkets. So, it like fuels that fire inside of you working that and getting to see all the actors come through and stuff. And then after that, I wanted to start doing stunt work. And so I went back to Atlanta and did my stunt training in Atlanta with the stunt coordinator. And then I started doing some stunt work to help pay some bills as well. Like the first stunt job I ever did was it's for this film called After, and it was for Stephen Strait. He was like the lead guy in 10,000 BC, that film from Fire Tiger. Anyways, they put me behind like this car and like just drug me down the street, like behind this car. I was like, oh fuck yeah, I can do stunts now too. This is great. So I got stunt training, and then I came back to LA after that. I actually did stunt training, and then I filmed Union, and then I came back to LA.
Okay. So Union was filmed in Atlanta?
Union was filmed in Alabama.
Okay.
Actually, it's so cool how full circle this is. Union was filmed in the same area as the first film I did in 2011.
Okay.
Which was Company M. They were filmed in the same exact like location around Tenny Hill and that area. So it was really cool. I was like, wow, like 5 years ago was my first film here, and now I'm back here shooting Union. It's really cool.
How was what was your process like for that audition for Union? Like, how did you hear about it and then getting the part?
Union that role was actually just offered to me. Like I didn't actually have to audition for that one, because the director of the first film, Company M, I think he was like a producer or something on that film. He said, hey, I have a role for you. This film Union is being directed by Whitney Hamilton, and it's yours if you want it. I was like, fuck yeah, I want it. Yeah. So I didn't even have to audition for that. And I played this really nasty Confederate soldier who does some evil things, and then I get hanged, and it's really crazy.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh, it's all in there. You see it.
Okay, so you come back out to LA. How was your process of getting an agent out there?
My agent is still on the East Coast. I don't have an agent in LA, and he reps me in Atlanta, Alabama, New Orleans, that East area, but he also gets me stuff out here. But he's saying I need to like now transition into getting an agent out here, a bigger agent that can take me, more places than what he can on the East Coast. Because he still gets me auditions for like really good stuff like HBO and Netflix and all that. But it's just, I need someone local,
So how do you go about getting, like you are currently working on a set right now. How did you go about getting that? Was that the agent out East that got you the job in LA, or?
No, I hustled for this one. I got this one myself. I'm a big believer.
That process of hustling in LA.
Networking, just knowing casting directors and asking them, if they have any projects coming up, networking with people that you've worked with in the past. And also you have like the websites, Actors Access and Backstage. Backstage, you can get a lot of auditions from. And it's a really great place to actually just search and see what's being cast right now.
And you said that you network with casting directors, but let's say I moved out there completely green. How do you get in those connections of finding casting directors?
You need to work, I'd say get you an Actors Access page or a Backstage page and start there and start working on like student projects and networking with them. And then also, if you somehow get in with a casting director, just leave a great impression with them, and keep up with them, keep up with what they're doing.
Mhm.
and they'll remember you if you're kind, if you come in prepared, they will remember you.
Yeah.
It's all about hustling, and like if you don't have anyone, make it yourself. You know,
Right. Right.
go for it.
So you've had quite a few auditions and things. Do you want to talk about your best audition and your worst audition?
Oh, let's go worse. Fuck it.
These are my favorite.
Yeah.
Worse. Besides the first one with the shitty headshot, the other one I did, I remember. Oh God, it was for. I think it was for a commercial, and it was in New Orleans. And after the audition, the casting director was like, "So we just want to know a little bit, a little something else about you. Tell us a joke." It's like, "Tell you a joke?" And they're like, "Yeah, tell us like a dirty joke or like any joke you want." I was like, "All right." And so I told the most filthiest, dirtiest joke. Needless to say, I never heard from that casting director again. But
Which then the joke was.
yeah, we're not gonna say that.
We're not
But honestly, I went for it. He asked for it, so I was like, "All right, you wanted to know. This is where I'm from, and this is the dirtiest joke I can think of." So yeah, I haven't gotten anything back from him ever.
That was their own fault, really.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull a Heather
But
right
I
now.
left an impression. So
You did leave an impression. Who has inspired you the most?
career-wise or personal?
I mean, yeah, either or.
Um,
It doesn't have to be someone
I'll do
famous.
both. I'll do both. How about that? Personal wise, I'd have to say my parents, because we came from very, very poor like
Mhm.
environment, to my dad making something of himself with the business that he's created, and just showing that you can literally come from nothing and make something of yourself,
Mhm.
which is what I'm trying to do. Like I love showing I have two nephews, so I love showing them like no matter where you come from, if you want something bad enough and you work your ass off, you can make it happen no matter what. But you got to put in the work. So I'm out here in LA showing them like, yeah, you can come into LA and do things. So career wise, Tom Hardy, he's like God to me. He is.
Mhm.
One day I will work with him. I'm not gonna say one day I hope. I'm gonna say one day I will work with him. That's a huge goal. I'm putting that out into the universe. So yeah, he's a big inspiration to me.
I think he's
Love everything he does.
a lot of people, to be honest. Yeah.
He is amazing.
Mhm. Okay. Well, thank you so much for answering my sections of the questions. I'm now going to pass you off to Heather.
Yours were great. So thank you for that. That was fun.
All right. So I like to talk about your process. And I know earlier you said that you just kind of fell into it and didn't really have any training. So I guess now, how do you prepare for your days on set and for auditions? Like, did you start taking classes, or did you just kind of observe the actors around you and kind of pick up pieces on like their preparation process?
I didn't start taking classes until I moved to LA. And then I took my first class at Anthony Mindell's acting studio, which is right here in LA. And then after that, I started with the actors community.
Mhm.
And I text Mark all the time now. Like everything I book, I'm like, it's because of you and the actors community and what you taught me. Because I wasn't booking nearly as much as I am now without Mark, which is insane. Preparedness, like knowing the lines. Like I can remember, I have a good memorization of the script. I can remember like 4 pages within an hour. Like I can memorize it pretty quickly. But then I just go into like deep prep mode of embodying this character or making myself feel comfortable with embracing what's happening. Because a lot of the roles I get are the serial killer or the psychopath or, like just these dirty, cringy roles. But I love them. I love being a villain because they're fun to dive into and to play around with. And I tell everyone, I'm like, everybody has every emotion inside of their body. Like you have a serial killer in you, but you don't release it. Like you don't go out and kill people, but it's in there. If you wanted it, it could come out, because that's what happens when people do. Everyone has anger in them, everyone has happiness, everyone has sadness. It's just, can you play with that, let it out, and bring it back in? Are you comfortable doing that? Which is a huge process.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the actors community. Do you mainly do like group classes through them, or did you do a lot of one-on-ones with Mark?
I started off with, I think it was a free taster is what it was. And then after that, I did a class with Mark, and then I did one with Jamie Donahue. It was something that Mark did. I don't know if he's done one since, but we had this huge support group. It was like 8 or 9 of us that did it with Jamie, and Jamie brought in everyone from the industry that he knew. He brought in editors from like Peaky Blinders. He brought in script supervisors. He brought in, DPs, everyone. Like each week was someone different. And it was a huge, just like educational thing as well, to learn about what each person does and, how it affects what you do. And so I learned a lot through him. And then I did a lot of one-on-ones with Mark, a lot of one-on-ones with Mark. And God, he has completely changed my career, honestly, for the better. He is such a great guy.
Yeah, we call him what do you call him, Keira? Our fairy godfather?
Fairy godfather, yeah.
Right?
So earlier you mentioned that you were on Pan Am, like a huge like budget TV show. So how did you deal with those nerves? Because you said you walked on the set and you were like how did you channel that nervous energy? Because I would imagine a lot of people, that being their first experience, not really having a whole lot of training, might literally like crap themselves.
Oh, I did. I did. I walked on set and I was like, wow. It's like, this is what it's supposed to be like, movie making and television, because you walk in there and you go to wardrobe fitting as soon as you like get there the day before, and then you go get your hair cut. I'm like, wow, someone's cutting my hair. Cool. It's like, oh, they're fitting me for wardrobe. Cool. And it's like, and then you go back the next day, but it's humongous set. But it's like the nervous energy, you just use it. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I was probably shit the whole time. I didn't know, but you're with these other people who, like, I was expecting the actors to be assholes, because you hear all these stories like, oh, everyone is an asshole, they're not really nice, but no, they treated me so nicely. Even this guy named Mike Vogel, he's an actor. He actually came and sat down and had lunch like right beside me and actually talked to me, which meant the world to me, because I'd seen him in what was that? The Help. I think it was The Help was what I seen him in before Pan Am. And I was like, oh my God, this guy, he's from The Help. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And he actually just sat down and had a conversation, which calmed my nerves down. I was like, okay, I belong here too. I can do this. And then you just use that, go for it. Whether you fuck it up or not, just go for it. I mean, they can edit it out. Yeah.
Be confident in it, right?
Yeah, just believe that you belong there too. I mean, even though you're just starting out, you did something right to get there, So
you'd mentioned earlier that Union was a film you shot several years ago, and it's just now starting to pick up, like, steam. Like, do you know why it took so long for it to start getting recognition, and how do you feel about?
I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm very happy about it. I mean, it's a wonderful story. It's about this woman, and it's a true story. And she disguised herself as her dead brother and went and fought in the Confederate Army. And then she ends up marrying this woman, and they end up keeping each other's secrets about her being a woman. And it's, I don't want to get too much away. It's a beautiful story. And I mean, it won like an award for like best LGBTQ movie as well. Whitney's won for like best female director awards. I mean, it's so cool. And then Lionsgate and Ithaca have picked it up and distributed it to Amazon and like iTunes, Vudu, all that. So it's so cool.
So now it's very easy to watch then.
Yeah, you can watch it anytime now. So
awesome. So what was the process of being on that? Like, how long was the shooting time frame, and how did you, I guess, because it's a movie, so it's going to be much longer.
I think I was there on set for a week because, about a week, I think I was on set, but everything on set was so cool because they had all the Civil War like carriages, and all the extras were dressed in like the Confederate and the North and all that. And we were sleeping in like a camper in the middle of the woods, which was really cool as well, and which was my playground, of course. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
So what do you feel like up to this point, would you say working on that project has shaped your career the most, or is there another role that you feel for whatever reason kind of placed you in the path you're in right now?
I think the one I did with Nicolas Cage called Rage, I think that's the one that gave me the boost of confidence. I was like, wow, okay, I booked a film with him, him and Danny Glover and all these people. And I was like, I'm good enough. Let's fucking go, let's do it. And ever since then, I went at everything else just full of confidence that, it's like, if I can book that, I can book this, and I use that. And I don't know, I smile every time I think about it, from where I came from and all that too, because it's just a huge thing that I've always wanted, and I'm doing it. Even though I'm not where I want to be yet, I'm fucking doing it, And like I said, I booked 3 films since November, and it's all because of Mark's help. Like, I can't thank that guy enough. So yeah, it lit a fire under my ass after that film, but it's still flaming. So let's go.
So you mentioned you booked 3 films since. Are you working on them currently? Can you tell us anything about them? It's still secret.
One of them I haven't started yet. The other one I started at the end of November, and I play this guy who gets tortured. It's called You and Me. And this little girl goes missing in this town, and this interrogator is trying to figure out what happened. So he ties me up in a hotel room and puts a bag over my head, and like is beating me with his hammer and like trying to get information out of it. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, I saw the stills of that on your Instagram.
Yeah, there's like blood all over the mask and all that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. And then the one I'm working on now is called US versus Beltron. And since from 2006 to 2017, ICE had illegally like detained over 3,500 immigrants in Texas alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so this film is based on the Beltron family and what happened to them, based on a true story. And I play one of the ICE agents that is just a terrible human and does some really awful things to get this family out, which is terrible. It's another villain role, but I love telling these stories because I like shedding light on things that other people don't necessarily think happen. And it's like I would love to play this type of bad character if it helps change the perception you have on what is actually going on. Like another film I did last year, it was called Homecoming, and I played a racist cop, and it was telling the story of how cops perceive African Americans in like a wealthy neighborhood, how they're going to stop them suspiciously and stuff like that. Just it's telling that kind of story too, because a lot of people, I mean, where I come from, I didn't believe any of this happened originally until I actually started witnessing it myself and hearing from people that it did and seeing it myself. And so now I'm wanting to show people, no, this stuff actually does happen,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it brings, and I love telling these true stories too, because it brings more depth to, yeah.
So how do you, because obviously you really have to play a character to play those roles. How do you, I guess, emotionally cope with putting that character into your own body?
You just gotta find a way to connect, because like if I'm on set and they want me to be a racist, I'm not a racist, but I have to find that anger and that like judgmental aspect of it, and you got to see why this character thinks what they're doing is right, because every serial killer doesn't think what he's doing is wrong. He thinks he's doing something right, or if there's a racist cop, he don't think he's racist, or if there's, you got to find the, what do you call it, the common ground of why they think what they're doing is okay. And then you embody that and try to let it out and then put it back in afterwards. So that's the hard part, is putting it back in afterwards. Because you go from role to role of always being this fucking asshole. You're like, I'm not an asshole in real life. I'm a good guy. I really am. But it's, you work with good people and they help you out with that too.
I'm definitely going to watch Reunion as soon as I can, because I can't wait to see you be an evil character, because your energy is just so light and sunshine and rainbows that I literally cannot imagine you being on screen being an asshole. I'm going to be like,
one I'm on now. Yeah, wait until you see the one I'm on now. You're going to be like, wow, okay.
Are you prepared for when you're out in public and someone recognizes you and they're like, oh my God, that's that, and then they're just like so mean to you?
Like, I fucking hate you. You're like, no, it's okay.
That's why you're a good actor, that people hate you so much because you did that part so well, you know.
Yeah, like I've even had I've had a couple of people on this set say that I made them feel uncomfortable, but in a good way. Like they're like, I felt so uncomfortable, but I'm glad I felt that way, because the way the audience is going to feel is what we want them to feel. I was like,
and that is a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Good day's work there.
So we always like to ask for 3 words you would use to describe your career path so far, and one piece of advice that if you were just starting out you would want to hear, or maybe you have for someone who is just now starting out. And the 3 words don't have to be like together, they can be 3 separate words, just in 3.
3 words describing my career.
Yes.
Okay. Exciting, fucked, and adventurous.
I think those might have been my 3 favorite words so far.
I hope I haven't ruined y'all's podcast. I do cuss a lot. So
no. Fuck that. We don't care.
Oh, fucking right. Yes. Some advice. I'll tell you a quote that I heard. I think it was from Steve Harvey. Don't tell a big dream to small-minded people.
Yeah, I at least I think I read that recently or something.
Because I used to always tell everyone, "Oh, I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna do this," and they're like, "Yeah, okay, you're from Alabama." They don't believe in you, and then that puts like a perception in your mind, like, "Yeah, I can't really do it if they don't think I can do it." No, find your group of people that believe in you just as much as you do, and fucking keep them around. So, yeah,
that's a quote.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, it's true, because anyone who is doing great things will never put down what you're wanting to do. It's always the people who don't have those big dreams that try to pull you down with them.
Yep. So. You gotta have that group. Because I'm telling you, the friends that I have now that are my closest friends are in LA. I still have my friends back, in Alabama, but the people I'm closest to, that I tell everything to, are in LA. And it's because of that network that I built, and the actors community too. Oh, the actors community, huge. Love everyone there. Such a good support group.
Well, thank you so much, Jon, for coming on super early in the morning on your last day of filming. So I know there's
last day on set
on your mind. So we really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank y'all. This has been such a great time. Oh, I've really enjoyed this. We gotta do it again for sure.